Hi friends, it's your girl Precious, and today I am making African fish rolls. You have not lived unless you've had African fish rolls. They are crispy on the outside with an insanely delicious fish filling. They are to die for. African fish rolls are perfect for parties, for breakfast, for snack time. They are a great appetizer. They are so good. This is one recipe that I'm so emotional sharing with you guys because it's actually the very first recipe I shared on my YouTube channel. We are going to start off by making the filling. Shred some carrots. Cut up some leeks or green onions. Then chop off some parsley. So you can basically use any vegetables you have in these fish rolls. Sometimes I will just mince some celery, finely mince some celery and add to it. Sometimes I'll add some bell peppers, colorful bell peppers. I just like to have at least two other colors apart from the fish. Something red and hopefully something green. Mostly something green. Something red and something green. So I'm just mincing up some garlic. This is going to add so much flavor to our fish rolls. I finally chopped some onion too, so that's about a cup of onions. So the fish we are going to be using is sardines and oil. And I'm using the kind that is spicy, but you don't have to. You could just use the one that's non-spicy. And I'm using 2 cans. So I'm just going to open these cans and drain them. I always have an issue with opening sardine cans for some reason. It's always so hard to open them, but it looks like I'm winning today. So I just have a colander over a pan here. I'm just going to pour in the sardines. And I'm going to take off the chilies that are in there because I don't want those chunks of pepper in my fish rolls. So I have my pot here and I'm setting that on high heat. I'm going to add a tablespoon of oil and just let that heat up so we can saute the onions. Our oil has heated up, so we're going to add the onion. And we are just going to saute these and cook them down a little bit. Okay, to the onions I'm going to add the minced garlic. And just stir so that garlic can release its wonders. So flavorful. And if you like ginger, you could add some. Sometimes I'll add a bit of ginger, but I'm not doing that today. Once that garlic has sauteed for about a minute, I'm going to add the carrots. Stir. I'm going to add just a little bit more oil because I feel like it needs just a little bit more. Then those green onions and the minced parsley. Reduce the heat because I don't want those green, the herbs or the parsley and the green onions to turn brown. I just love seeing them green. Then I've pushed everything to one side. I'm going to add the fish. Then I'm just going to use my wooden spoon to mash the fish. You don't want to make the fish too mushy. You just want to break it down. Then mix that fish together with the veggies. Oh my goodness. That is looking good, you guys. Okay, to that I'm going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of ground white pepper, because white pepper is so good. You could use black pepper if you don't have white pepper. Then I'm going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of chicken bouillon powder. You could just sprinkle in about a 1/4 of a Maggi seasoning cube, just to up that flavor a little bit. The sardines are usually salted, so you don't want to add a lot of salt. You want to taste to make sure that you're not over salting it. Now look at how beautiful that filling is. I'm going to give it a taste to make sure it's fine. So taste to ensure that the seasoning is perfect. It's perfect. Now we are going to let the filling cool down while we make the dough. So we are going to measure 3 cups of flour for the dough. That's 1. 3. To the flour, we are going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. You want to make sure it's only a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. If you add too much baking powder, it's going to ruin the fish rolls. They are going to have like big holes on them, and they will not be pleasant at all. I'm also going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm using salted margarine, so I don't want to add too much salt. But if you can use butter or margarine. If you're using unsalted butter, then add more salt so that your dough is going to be flavorful. So I'm just adding 4 tablespoons of margarine. I've already added in 1. That's the second one. Oops, it looks like I didn't get out the second one properly. A little more, yeah. And 4. 2 tablespoons of sugar. So rub in the dry ingredients with the margarine or butter until it looks like fine breadcrumbs, as my food and nutrition teacher will say. And you don't need any special equipment for this, even though you could use a hand mixer. Oh, not a hand mixer, a stand mixer if you have one. But I always just make it with my hands because it's easy. It's so easy to make. Okay, that is looking good, well incorporated. To that, I'm going to add a cup of water. I'm going to mix to form a dough. Flour a working surface. Transfer that dough. A little bit more flour. We're going to knead it. So when you're kneading the dough, you don't want to add too much flour at a time, because that's going to result in a hard dough. And when the dough is hard, it's not pliable, and that's not good. So you want to add flour gradually until the dough is not sticky, but at the same time not hard. And I'm going to show you guys what I mean by that. Okay guys, our dough is good to go. So you can see that it's not sticky and it's very pliable. You can see that, very pliable. So this is what you're looking for. So we are going to put this right here. Then I'm going to cover it with plastic wrap and let it rest for 10 minutes. Okay, our dough has rested and our filling is all cool. So what I like to do is just mold that dough. Again, I should have dusted this with a bit of flour before letting the dough rest, but I didn't. So you want to make sure you dust with a little bit of flour. Look at how smooth that looks. I just love the look of smooth dough. Okay, I'm going to dust my surface with flour just so that the dough doesn't stick. Then let's make some fish rolls. So you want to cut a portion of that dough about the size of a golf ball, so like so. Then just place it on your surface, then just roll it out this a little bit so you guys can see. That is looking good. So take a healthy portion of that filling and add a generous portion of the filling to the rolled out dough, but you don't want to overfill it because then it's going to be difficult to roll it. Then you see I just folded the dough over the filling first, then second I'm just going to grab the sides and fold them in and pinch them. You want to secure that filling so it's on the inside like that. Then I'm just going to go ahead and roll like this. I'm lifting it up gently to make sure that it's not sticking to my work surface like this. Roll, and that's it. That's a fish roll. Look at that. Okay, let's make another one. So guys, we are on our last one and I'm so excited because I have my oil heating up and I'm going to fry these bad boys. I just cannot wait. People always ask me if they can bake their fish rolls. You could definitely bake them, just brush them with a little bit of oil and bake them. But truth be told, they are not as delicious as the fried ones, but they still work. All done. So our oil is all heated up and we're going to deep fry. Just gently, very gently lower the fish rolls into the pan. Fish rolls are one of those snacks that I grew up with, and each time I make them I just feel so nostalgic. Back in the day, you buy some for 50 francs or 100 francs in my country, Cameroon, and it was just so good. It was that one of those things that we always just bought from the women who made them. We never made them at home for some reason, but when I moved to the United States, I started making those snacks that we would typically buy in Cameroon at home because I missed them so much. So you don't want to overcrowd the pan. I'm going to leave it at that, and we're going to fry these fish rolls in 2 batches. I'm so excited. Fish rolls are done. Okay, so taking out the first batch now. Fish rolls coming right up. And I'm just going to place them on my tray that I've lined with parchment paper. That is looking so good. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and put in the next batch very, very carefully. Okay guys, that is looking good. Just about a minute and our second batch will be done. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait. These take about 5 minutes to cook in the oil. When I first started making fish rolls, I'll put them in the oil and they'll open up because I wasn't rolling them properly. The mixture wasn't right. It would just be a total mess. I can't count how many times I made fish rolls and the whole thing would just unravel in the oil and the fish will be at its own side. The dough will be at its own side. Oh my God, it was so frustrating. But one thing about cooking is that you just keep practicing. You practice and practice and you will get it right. Okay, let's take out these bad boys. Can you hear the crispiness already? It's already like, ooh, okay. Our fish rolls are all done, and you can see they have little holes on them, and it's okay because that's what really creates that crispiness, you know. But when you put too much baking powder, the holes are going to be a lot bigger and some are going to open up and it would just not be good. I cannot wait to try these fish rolls, you guys. I'm so excited. I even poured myself a glass of juice because, you know. Okay, I took one. Oh my god, it's so crispy. Can you hear that? Can you? Oh my god. Okay, let's break open. Loaded with delicious fish. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait to dig in. They are crispy on the outside. The fish filling is so flavorful, slightly garlicky. The onions caramelize, so they're giving it a bit of sweetness. And those vegetables really help to balance everything together. This, you guys, is so delicious. I'm kind of pitying my husband who is watching me right now, who is behind the camera. I'm tormenting him. For the full African fish rolls recipe, go to my blog, preciouscore.com. If you liked this video, give me a thumbs up. Also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you've not done so already, and click on the notification bell so you can get notified whenever I post a new video. Thank you guys so much for spending time with me, and I'm going to see you guys in my next video. Bye.